Among all the characters in our story, the most important one is Satomi, who has faced many natural disasters and hardships since childhood. One day, while he was in a refugee camp with nowhere to go and no idea what to do, a terrifying monster suddenly appeared and stopped right in front of him, scaring him deeply. 10 years have passed since that incident, and Satomi is now grown up and works for a civil security company. One day, a police inspector who doesn't trust him at all takes him to the 4th floor of a building where monster activity has been reported. According to the law, the police cannot enter until civil security arrives. The inspector asks Satomi where his partner is, since they always work in pairs, and only then does Satomi realize that he's somehow lost his partner on the way. When they arrive at the scene, they discover that 2 officers have already entered the building without permission. Satomi immediately breaks down the door and rushes inside, where he finds a masked man and the 2 officers lying dead on the ground. At first, Satomi thinks the masked man is trying to help, but he soon realizes that the masked man is actually the killer. A fight breaks out between them, and Satomi delivers a powerful kick to the masked man's head, twisting it nearly 180 degrees. Shockingly, the masked man simply turns his head back to normal and, before leaving, threatens that he will destroy the world. Satomi is unable to stop him and tells the inspector to secure the area and begin cleanup operations. Meanwhile, Satomi's partner, Enju, is searching for him when she encounters a wounded man and realizes that he's been bitten by a monster. She asks for his final wish, but suddenly the man transforms into a giant spider and attacks her. Satomi and the inspector arrive and open fire, but normal bullets have no effect on the monster, as only special metal rounds called black bullets can stop these creatures from regenerating. Just then, Enju returns and tears the monster apart before running to Satomi and hugging him tightly. The inspector finally realizes that Enju is one of the cursed children. Suddenly, Satomi and Enju remember that the supermarket discount sale is about to start, so they quickly run off and leave the inspector behind to deal with the mess. The inspector knows that children like Enju were born to fight monsters, while people like Satomi exist to guide and control them, and that these children and their powers are humanity's last hope. After this, Satomi goes to meet his chairman, Kisara, who is extremely angry with him because he forgot to collect their payment from the police while chasing supermarket discounts. When they called back later, the police refused to pay, and as a result, Satomi returned home with only 2 packets of bean sprouts. Kisara feels that running a company with an employee like Satomi is impossible, and it looks like they'll have to sleep hungry again this month. Since Kisara still hasn't discovered the true source of the infection, she decides that a deeper investigation is necessary. On her way to the hospital, she remembers how Satomi once used to search for his parents and truly believed they were still alive, but now he no longer talks about them and has accepted that they are dead. Later, Satomi goes to meet his teacher, who is also a coroner. As soon as he arrives, she startles him and mocks him for being so lazy and useless, asking how he even manages to survive. She tells him that if he wants Kisara to notice him, he needs to change himself. Kisara has protected Satomi from her own family and brother since childhood, but now Satomi believes he has become strong enough to protect Kisara himself. The teacher offers him a plate of food, but her cooking is so strange that no one would dare to eat it. Satomi had actually come to ask about the infection, and the teacher explains that when the monster virus fully infects someone, it can create new abilities. It is possible that the monster they are searching for has the power to disguise itself. Even so, Satomi and Enju are determined not to let the monster roam free for long. That night, Satomi and Enju eat the bean sprouts, and Enju, being innocent and cheerful, enjoys them and even praises the meal. After eating, Satomi tells Enju to change into proper clothes and gives her a stabilizing injection before bed, but Enju is so mischievous that she doesn't let him sleep peacefully and keeps bothering him. The next morning, Satomi and Enju head out after breakfast so she can go to school. Enju reassures him that no one has discovered her true identity as a cursed child yet, so he doesn't need to worry. Seeing Enju happy at school gives Satomi some peace of mind. In truth, the cursed children are those whose mothers were infected by the virus, which gave these children the ability to suppress the virus and gain extraordinary powers. However, the world does not consider them human. To survive, humanity has built massive pillars made of a special metal that monsters hate, creating a barrier to keep them away. Even though people consider children like Enju to be a curse, the truth is that they are humanity's last weapon and final hope against the monsters. After this, Satomi receives a call from Kisara while he is at school. She informs him that the Ministry of Defense has assigned them an important mission. When they arrive, an arrogant man mocks Kisara because of her young age and even tries to provoke Satomi, but his boss stops him. During the meeting, the general gives everyone a chance to withdraw, warning them that once the mission begins, there will be no turning back. The leader of Tokyo, Seitenshi, is also present there. She is actually the granddaughter of Kisara's grandfather, the same man who adopted Satomi. She assigns them the mission to find the source of the infection and retrieve a mysterious box. Kisara asks what is so special about the box that such powerful people have been gathered for this task, but Seitenshi refuses to reveal any details. Suddenly, the same masked man appears and introduces himself as Hiruko. He casually mentions that he killed a few flies, the guards, on his way in. He is accompanied by his adopted daughter, Kohina. Hiruko announces that he also intends to participate in this deadly race and reveals that the box contains the treasure of the 7 stars. He challenges everyone present to risk their lives for it. The same arrogant man attacks Hiruko with a sword, but Hiruko easily throws him aside. When others open fire on him, his protective shield blocks all the bullets. It is revealed that parts of his body have been replaced with machinery made from black metal, making him incredibly powerful, almost like a machine. Hiruko then reveals his true identity as a former member of the Army Special Forces Mechanized Unit 787 and an important subject of the Human Evolution Plan experiment. He releases the bullets trapped in his shield in all directions, but Satomi quickly pulls Kisara down and saves her life. Before leaving, Hiruko gives Satomi a gift. Moments later, news arrives that the only board member who was absent from the meeting has been found dead, his head completely severed from his body. Satomi quickly realizes what was inside the gift Hiruko left behind. Seitenshi orders him to find the box before Hiruko does, warning that if Hiruko gets his hands on it, he could use its power to destroy the black metal pillars that protect the city. After this, Satomi goes shopping with Enju, where they come across another cursed child. The young girl is being accused of theft, and the police arrive to arrest her. Enju wants to save the girl, but Satomi stops her to prevent the situation from getting worse. Enju becomes furious and blames Satomi for what is happening. Feeling guilty, Satomi follows after them, but when he arrives, he discovers that the police have already shot the innocent girl. Seeing this breaks his heart as he realizes once again that the world does not even consider these children to be human. Fortunately, the girl is still alive, so Satomi quickly takes her to the hospital. As he leaves the hospital, he encounters Hiruko once again. Hiruko offers Satomi a chance to join his side, claiming that the city itself is a mistake. Satomi firmly refuses, and in response, Hiruko orders his adopted daughter Kohina to attack him. Enju steps in to help Satomi, standing between them. Hiruko then tries to bribe Satomi by offering him a suitcase full of money, but Satomi rejects the offer without hesitation. Before leaving, Hiruko warns him that by tomorrow he will change his mind. The next day, Satomi's worst fear comes true. Everyone at school finds out that Enju is a cursed child. The teacher becomes angry at Satomi for hiding the truth, but Satomi argues that if he had told the truth from the beginning, they would never have allowed Enju to enroll. When Satomi returns home, Enju was nowhere to be found, so he goes outside the city to search for her. Although Seitenshi had created many supportive policies for children like Enju, society's hatred proved stronger. Eventually, Satomi tracks Enju down to an old underground sewer where many abandoned cursed children have taken shelter. While searching for her, he meets a kind man who helps these children survive and teaches them how to control their emotions so their eyes don't turn red and reveal their true identity. When Satomi asks about Enju, the man suggests that he should simply find a new partner, since most people see these children as nothing more than weapons. This angers Satomi deeply, because after spending a year with Enju, he had helped her grow from an emotionless child into a cheerful and lively girl. Leaving that place, Satomi visits his teacher, who tells him that his way of thinking is different from the rest of the world, and that is why he suffers so much. Soon after, Satomi receives news that Enju has returned to school. When he arrives, he sees that her classmates are cruelly driving her away and no one stands up to defend her. Immediately, Satomi takes Enju away and tells her that those people are no longer her friends. He promises her that even if the entire world turns against her, he will always stand by her side. At that moment, a helicopter arrives, and Kisara informs them that they have located the monster responsible for spreading the infection. They board the helicopter and soon find the creature, discovering that the giant spider has formed wings out of its web and is flying through the sky, which is why no one had been able to track it down. Enju jumps down immediately while Satomi descends using a rope. With her incredible strength, Enju nearly destroys the spider and successfully retrieves the box. She believes that if she keeps fighting to protect people, the world might one day change its view of her. However, just as Satomi approaches the mysterious box, Hiruko suddenly appears and demands that it be handed over, while Enju is forced to fight Kohina. Satomi tries to attack Hiruko, but Hiruko's robotic body protects him and he shoots Satomi in turn. Using his shield, Hiruko traps Satomi between large rocks. Realizing the situation is getting worse, Satomi orders Enju to run away and bring help. As soon as Enju left, Kohina attacked Satomi twice with her sword, and Hiruko shot him 2 more times, causing Satomi to fall into the river. When Satomi finally regained consciousness, Kasara was by his side. She told him that he had been in a coma for an entire day and that his heartbeat had only returned after a difficult surgery. It was then revealed that the mysterious box contains something capable of summoning a level 5 monster, the most dangerous type of monster. These creatures are so powerful that even the black metal pillars cannot stop them, and they have the potential to destroy the entire world, just like what happened 10 years ago. Hiriko had already fled the city in order to summon the monster, and the government had launched a full-scale search to find him. Satomi decided that he would go and stop Hiriko, even if it meant losing his life. Kasara showed him that Enju had spent almost the entire time sitting beside his bed ever since his surgery. Just then, Satenshi called and asked Satomi to join the mission, and he agreed without hesitation. His teacher provided him with the necessary weapons and some special medicines that might be needed during the mission. Satomi was reminded of the time 10 years ago when his body had been modified. His teacher still felt guilty about it, but Satomi had never hated her for what she did. Soon after, Satomi and Enju departed with the other teams by helicopter and landed deep in the forest. There they encountered a level 4 monster, forcing them to retreat by climbing down a steep cliff to escape. Later that night, they noticed a faint light coming from an old house. When they entered, they found the same young girl who was the partner of the arrogant man from the meeting. Her name was Ku, and she was badly injured. Satomi told Enju to stand guard outside while he treated Ku's wounds. Ku explained that after a powerful monster attacked them, she and her partner Sean had been separated. In her panic, she fired explosive bullets, which caused them to lose their way. Ku then revealed that Sean had killed several other partners along the way out of greed for the reward money. She felt jealous of Enju because Enju had someone kind like Satomi by her side, while Ku had been forced to kill people. Ku feared that she would soon become used to all the bloodshed, but Satomi told her that taking a life is terrifying, and even more terrifying is becoming used to it. His words made Ku feel emotions she had never experienced before. Just then, a message arrived from Sean saying that he had found Hiriko. The three of them set out immediately, but along the way, Ku decided to stay behind to hold off the pursuers and entrusted Sean's safety to Satomi. When Satomi finally reached the location, he found that Sean and everyone else had already been killed. Hiriko was standing there, waiting. At that moment, a hidden truth was revealed. 10 years earlier, when Kasara's parents were killed, Satomi had tried to save them and lost one arm, one leg, and one eye in the process, parts of his body that were later replaced with mechanical prosthetics. Satomi launched a powerful attack that shattered Hiriko's armor and revealed that he himself had once been part of the same mechanized Unit 787. Hearing this only made Hiriko fight with even greater madness. While the two adults battled fiercely, Enju and Kohina were also locked in combat nearby. Hiriko once again tried to convince Satomi to join his side, but when Satomi refused, Hiriko targeted Enju instead. In order to protect her, Satomi took a fatal blow meant for Enju and was pushed to the brink of death. With his life slipping away, Satomi remembered the vials his teacher had given him. The medicine could grant him monstrous strength and regenerative abilities, but taking it meant becoming a cursed person. Without hesitation, Satomi injected himself and was immediately filled with overwhelming power. He threw Kohina aside and broke through Hiriko's defenses, delivering a devastating kick that knocked off Hiriko's mask and sent him crashing into the sea. After that, Hiriko's signal disappeared completely. However, the bad news was that the level 5 monster had already arrived. Kasara revealed that she had a plan and directed Satomi toward an old abandoned railgun. The weapon was powerful enough to destroy a level 5 monster with a single shot. Satomi's task was to activate it, but when he reached the ammunition room, he discovered that there were no shells left. With no other choice, Satomi decided to use his own mechanical arm as a substitute shell. Because of the intense magnetic field, Kasara's team could not control the weapon remotely, so Satomi had to aim it manually. Hitting a target 50 kilometers away with one arm seemed impossible, but at that moment Enju appeared and encouraged him. With Enju's help, Satomi managed to aim and fire, and the shots struck the monster directly, blowing it to pieces. After the battle, Enju fell asleep from exhaustion inside the railgun, while Satomi went to search for Ko. He found her in terrible condition. When Ko asked about her partner, Sean, Satomi lied and told her that he was safe so she could find peace in her final moments. Ko was on the verge of turning into a monster, so she asked Satomi to kill her while she was still human. She called Satomi her only friend and told him that if he ever lost his way in life, he should follow the light. With a heavy heart, Satomi shot Ko. Soon after, a helicopter arrived and evacuated the survivors back to the city. After returning, Satomi went to meet his adoptive father, Kasara's grandfather. Satomi eventually learned that the entire conspiracy had been orchestrated by his adoptive father, who had used Hiriko as a tool to make people fear the cursed children. He despised those children because he believed they were responsible for his wife's death. Satomi told him clearly that although he would never forget the kindness and support he had received from him, he could never stand beside someone with such hateful beliefs. After saying this, Satomi walked away and later asked Seitenshi about the true nature of the monsters, but she refused to reveal anything. Satomi realized that if he truly wanted to uncover the truth, he would have to rise through the ranks of civil security. Now, Satomi's new goal is to improve his rank, uncover the truth about the monsters, and discover the true purpose behind his own existence. In the end, he returns to Kasara, where he begins training alongside Enju, preparing for the battles that lie ahead. Enju can now attack at speeds faster than a bullet, but Satomi still teases her as always, telling her not to throw such high kicks while fighting. When Satomi arrives for training, Kasara scolds him for not having found a new school for Enju yet. However, they desperately needed money to afford school and other expenses. Fortunately, Kasara informs him that Seitenshi has decided to hire him as her personal bodyguard. Satomi goes to meet Seitenshi, who explains that the chairman of the Osaka region will soon be visiting Tokyo. Since Satomi's adopted father will be in China giving a speech at the time, Seitenshi needs a trustworthy bodyguard. Although she already has a security team led by Tudo, she specifically wants Satomi's help. As Satomi is leaving, he gets lost in the building and runs into Tudo, who threatens him and tells him to quit the job because he wants the bodyguard position for himself. Without hesitation, Satomi pulls out his gun, forcing Tudo to back off. Hearing the gunshot, the other security guards rush over, and Satomi tells them that he has officially accepted the job. On his way home, Satomi notices some thugs harassing a little girl. He steps in to help, and as soon as the thugs see the civil security badge, they run away. The girl behaves strangely, repeatedly dozing off in the middle of conversations. Satomi learns that her name is Tina, and that she is a night owl type who stays awake at night. Since Tina cannot clearly remember where her home is, Satomi gives her his phone number in case she needs help. Tina calls the number to check, then suddenly remembers her address and leaves. The story takes a dark turn that night when it is revealed that Tina is not an ordinary girl, but a professional assassin sent from another city to kill Seitenshi. As she prepares her weapons and equipment and heads out on her mission, a police officer spots her. He assumes she is just an innocent runaway child, unaware that she is on a deadly assignment. Tina's master orders her to deal with the kind police officer, who turns out to be Satomi. Meanwhile, Satomi and Enju return from the market with groceries and pass by the same crime scene, but they do not pay much attention to it. Later, while they are preparing dinner at home, a girl suddenly collapses at their doorstep. Her name is Miori, the daughter of the chairman of a major weapons manufacturing company. Soon after, Kisara also arrives and collapses from exhaustion while asking for food. Satomi tells Enju to keep an eye on both of them, since the two girls clearly cannot stand each other. After dinner, an argument broke out between Kisara and Miori. Kisara accused Miori of freeloading, but Miori fired back by reminding her that her family's company supplied Satomi with large quantities of black bullets for free. Miori even set a condition. Satomi would have to attend her school, and in the future he might even have to marry into her family. Now Satomi found himself stuck with a difficult choice. On one side was Miori, the daughter of a wealthy family, and on the other was Kisara, a free-spirited and beautiful girl. The argument escalated so badly that both of them pulled out weapons, causing damage to Satomi's home and increasing the rent he already struggled to pay. The next day, Satomi went to guard Seitenshi and met the chairman from Osaka. Satomi already knew him and warned Seitenshi that the man was nothing less than a dictator. The chairman immediately recognized Satomi and was surprised to see that he was still alive. It had been Satomi who destroyed the chairman's electromagnetic cannon, a weapon he once planned to send to the moon to intimidate the entire world. Listening to him speak, Satomi felt certain that the chairman had completely lost his sanity. He was relieved that Seitenshi had not agreed with any of the chairman's ideas. However, the danger was far from over. Rumors were spreading throughout the city that the Osaka chairman was conspiring with foreign powers and secretly selling Japan's precious black metal in exchange for weapons and money. Seitenshi dreamed of uniting all of Japan, but she feared that her ambitions would make her a target for assassins. She confessed to Satomi that she knew her request was selfish, but she trusted him more than anyone else and wanted him to stay by her side for a long time. At that moment, Enju suddenly woke up with a bad feeling. When Satomi looked out the window, he noticed a brief flash of light from a sniper rifle. He immediately pushed Seitenshi down and a bullet tore through the car. A second shot followed, but Enju intercepted it mid-air, giving the other bodyguards enough time to move Seitenshi to safety. The sniper was none other than Tina, who had no idea who had interfered with her shot. The next day, Satomi coincidentally ran into Tina again and bought food for her, completely unaware that she had been the attacker the previous night. He noticed that Tina was mixing stimulants into her food to stay awake, but she was so exhausted that she could barely eat. Satomi ended up feeding her by hand. Tina began to grow fond of him because for the first time in years, someone had shown her genuine kindness. Just then, Tina received a call from her master, who informed her that her next target was Kisada. Meanwhile, Satomi went to meet Miyori at her school. Kisada showed up and tried to cause a scene because she could not stand seeing Satomi alone with Miyori, but Satomi warned her that breaking anything would result in expensive compensation. Miyori had already investigated the attack from the previous night, and it managed to determine the assassin's exact location by analyzing the angle of the bullet. Satomi asked Miyori to investigate the Osaka chairman as well, since all the clues seemed to be connected to him. Miyori tried every possible way to recruit Satomi into her company, even attempting to charm him into agreeing. When Kisada saw this, she stormed into the room in anger, and Satomi found himself caught in the middle of yet another heated argument between the two girls. Later, when Satomi told his teacher about everything that had happened, she laughed and teased him, saying that although he looked brave, he was actually quite timid when it came to dealing with girls. However, she also revealed an important secret. Satomi had now reached a high enough rank to learn about the Human Evolution Project. This project had been started jointly by 4 nations, pairing mechanized soldiers with cursed children so they could fight monsters together. The teacher warned him that if he dug too deeply into his past, he might encounter enemies even more dangerous than Hiruko. After that, the teacher told Satomi to go home and take care of Kisada while she handled some important matters with Enju. Meanwhile, Tina's master assigned her next target, Kisada. When Tina realized that Enju worked with Kisada, she was so shocked that she dropped her phone. Even so, she continued with her mission and arrived at Kisada's office, where she suddenly opened fire. Kisada tried to fight back, but Tina overpowered her and began choking her. In her desperation, Kisada cried out Satomi's name, and hearing it made Tina freeze for a moment. Just then, Satomi arrived and launched an attack. Tina was stunned to see Satomi-san standing before her and could not believe that the man who had once helped her was now her enemy. She fired several shots to keep him at a distance, but Satomi managed to grab hold of her. During the struggle, Kisara seized the opportunity to cut through the floor and escape, while Tina fled the scene. However, the attack and her long-standing illness left Kisara in critical condition, and she had to be rushed to the hospital. Her kidneys had been failing for a long time, and she urgently needed dialysis. Satomi desperately wanted Kisara to undergo kidney surgery as soon as possible, but there was one major problem: no suitable donor could be found. In the hospital, Kisara held Satomi's hand as if she didn't want to let him go. But just then, Enju stepped in and lightened the mood. Satomi had now fully realized that Tina's attack and the attempt on Seitenshi's life were connected. He also regretted letting Tina escape that day. When he asked Enju what the teacher had explained to her, Enju simply said she didn't understand any of it because it was all related to physics and science. In a weak voice, Kisara told Satomi that Tina had to be stopped, and Satomi promised that he would stop her no matter what. The next morning, Satomi returned to Seitenshi's security detail. He clearly told Seitenshi that Osaka was the one behind everything, but Seitenshi pretended not to know anything in order to maintain peace. While they were on their way to a meeting, they were suddenly attacked again. To protect Seitenshi, Satomi took several bullets himself and was badly injured. He told the driver to take the car into the parking garage and sent Enju to deal with Tina. Satomi believed Enju would be able to handle the situation, but then Seitenshi revealed that Tina was a very high-level mechanized soldier, and Enju wouldn't be able to defeat her alone. When Satomi tried calling Enju, Tina answered the phone instead. Satomi immediately rushed to the hospital, where the doctor informed him that Enju's condition was stable, but she would remain in a coma for 2 days. She had been shot from multiple directions. Satomi was completely devastated and began to feel that he should quit this job, since both Kisara and Enju were in the hospital because of him. Soon after, he met Tudo again and asked him to create a fake plan so he could personally protect Seitenshi on his own. He then went to his teacher and asked for information about mini-aircraft or drones so he could counter Tina's unmanned weapons. Satomi made up his mind to raise his rank and fight in order to uncover all the secrets of this world. After that, he went to Miyori and began training at her special facility. Satomi possesses a mechanical eye that allows him to process information at an extremely fast speed. Miyori's analysis revealed that Satomi's speed was only 1/6 of Tina's, which was far too slow. That night, Tina set out on her assassination mission, but she felt that the target's location seemed too easy, as if it were a trap. Deep down, Tina hoped that Satomi wouldn't show up, but fate brought them face to face anyway. Satomi had already decided that he would stop Tina no matter what. He dodged the incoming bullets from a distance and took cover inside a building, where he destroyed Tina's unmanned drones. Over the phone, Miori informed him that there were 5 remotely controlled machine guns spread across 3 buildings, and Tina was likely in the central one. When Satomi reached the upper floor, he encountered 2 more drones. The moment they scanned him, he destroyed them as well. Upon reaching the rooftop, he noticed that Tina had left her gun behind. Just then, Miori noticed on the radar that Tina was extremely close to Satomi. In the next moment, Tina jumped down from above and launched a sudden attack, nearly defeating him. When Satomi tried to pull out a bomb, Tina used her drones to throw a knife at him, causing the bomb to explode in his own hand and blast him into a wall. Satomi was on the verge of giving up when he suddenly heard Enju's voice, which gave him the strength to keep fighting. Gathering his resolve, he used a stun bomb that created a blinding flash, temporarily dazzling Tina's eyes. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Satomi managed to defeat Tina. Tina then told him to kill her, but instead, Satomi carried her out alive. For Tina, her only purpose in life had been to fight, and since Satomi had taken that purpose away from her, she insisted that he now take responsibility for her life. Suddenly, Tudo seized the moment and shot Tina. He then ordered his men to capture Satomi so he could finish Tina off. However, at the right moment, Seitenshi arrived and stopped Tudo. She asked Satomi what he wanted in return. Satomi replied that he wanted enough power to protect the people he cared about. In response, Seitenshi immediately promoted him to level 300, a rank far above Tudo's authority. Satomi taught Tudo a lesson by shooting his finger and gave him a clear warning: if he ever touched his people again, he would eliminate him on charges of treason. A few days later, news arrived that the chairman of Osaka had left Tokyo and no evidence was found linking him to Tina. When Satomi returned to Kisara's company, he saw that Enju had fully recovered. Not only that, Kisara had even given Tina a job since the poor girl had nowhere else to go. Tina asked Satomi to take responsibility for her, but Satomi jokingly refused. A few days later, Satomi began teaching children who lived outside the city. The kids were very mischievous and often teased him about being with either Enju or Kisara, but both Satomi and Kisara denied having any kind of relationship. Just then, Seitenshi came to meet them, but it was far from a normal visit. She brought terrifying news. A massive black metal, or Varanium barrier that protected the city was melting because of the monsters. Building a new barrier would take 9 days, but the old one would collapse in just 3. This meant that in 3 days, the monsters would invade the city. Seitenshi asked Satomi to assemble a civil security team to buy them enough time.
That evening, when Satomi returned home, Tina and Enju were waiting for him. Tina had made pizza for dinner, mainly because it was the only thing she knew how to cook. Later that night, after Enju fell asleep, Tina spoke seriously with Satomi. She could sense the danger that was coming, so she decided to fight alongside him since he had saved her life. Satomi still didn't know how he would deal with so many monsters, but he knew he needed to recruit more people for his team. The next morning, when Kisara came to pick Tina up, Tina climbed out from under Satomi's blanket and sincerely thanked him for everything he had taught her. Satomi also mentioned that Shoma had suddenly left the dojo without any explanation. Tina feared that enemies might come after her soon, so she began considering leaving Kisara's company in order to keep Satomi and the others out of danger. But Satomi and Kisara called her a fool and explained that Satomi wasn't so weak that she needed to worry about him. As long as Tina didn't hate them, she would always be safe with them. Exhausted, Tina eventually fell asleep. After that, the teacher revealed a bitter truth to Satomi. Even though Enju and Tina were still children, the bodies of the cursed children slowly deteriorated because of the virus, and they would die at a young age. The teacher suggested that if Satomi truly wanted to change the world, he should become a politician. However, Satomi believed there was another way to change the world, by eliminating all the monsters. The teacher admired Satomi's honesty and showed him some secret documents. This was information that had supposedly been deleted, but someone had actually locked it away so that no one could read it. Just then, Kisara called Satomi and urgently told him to turn on the news. The entire city had already learned that the protective black metal block was slowly turning white, meaning it had lost its power. During the press conference, Seitenshi was bombarded with questions about why she had hidden this information from the public. The Kajigiri brothers felt sorry for Seitenshi, as public opinion had now turned against her. The rich had already bought all the plane tickets to escape the city, which meant riots were very likely to break out. Satomi's team, Tina, Enju, and Kisara, was also in poor condition. Even their tent looked like a piece of torn cloth. To receive proper supplies and equipment, Satomi urgently needed to find another pair so their group could be complete. Satomi and Enju went out to search for new teammates. Enju found a pair wearing heavy armor, but Satomi rejected them. He believed that people who relied too much on armor were afraid of death, and this mission required risking their lives. They then came across another strange-looking group, but Satomi didn't think they were suitable either. While searching, they noticed a crowd gathering somewhere. When they arrived, they discovered that the same heavily armored man was lying dead. Someone had stabbed him. As they came back down, a violent fight had already broken out. Terror and bloodshed were spreading throughout the city. When Satomi pushed through the crowd, he found his senior, Shuma. A large man was provoking Shuma, but Shuma calmly signaled to his partner, who swiftly cut the man's gun in half. Satomi was very happy to reunite with his senior. Shuma had heard about Satomi's growing reputation and agreed to join his team. Satomi asked about the dead armored man, but Shuma said he wasn't the one who killed him. That evening, Shuma introduced himself to the Katagini brothers. Shuma's partner was named Fuse, who had cat-like traits. She always wore a hat to hide her cat-like ears. Their team now had 6 members, but Satomi needed a team of 10 so they could support each other better in battle. Just then, Kisada arrived. Tina had lost her rank, but Kisada requested Saitenshi to reinstate her, and Tina was allowed to fight again. Kisada was also surprised to see Shuma there. Satomi was worried about Kisada's health because of her kidney condition, and he didn't want her to fight, but both Tina and Kisada convinced him. Just then, Commander Gadu ordered everyone to assemble. They gave a speech to boost everyone's morale and explained the plan to escort the installation team that would set up the new tower, Block. Satomi suggested that if they truly wanted to protect the installation team, they should move their camp closer to the site so they could provide immediate support in case of danger. However, the commander almost completely rejected Satomi's idea. Feeling discouraged, Satomi sat quietly in a corner. He was deeply worried that something might happen to Kisada, but Kisada didn't want to just sit at home and pray while Satomi faced danger alone. The two looked into each other's eyes, and Satomi was just about to express his true feelings when Tina suddenly interrupted them. Soon the others gathered around and started teasing them, joking that even in such serious times, the two were busy with romance. Satomi then reaffirmed his bond with the entire team and thanked them for risking their lives to protect the city. Enju suggested that they should come up with a slogan to boost the team's morale. The next morning, Satomi and Kisada went to teach the children again. Satomi asked everyone to write down their dreams for the future on a piece of paper, hoping it would help them forget their fear and stress